Could you make 100 grand flipping a narco house, a government seized narco house? You ever watch those shows on TV or you're on YouTube and you wonder what happens when, the government comes in, busts down the door, the narco's in this big, beautiful house, and basically they generally arrest the guy and you're left wondering, whatever happened to that house? Well, today I'm going to show you where those houses go and how you could possibly have a chance at buying them, flipping them. In fact, I found a house. Now we'll figure out possibly if it's a narco seized house, but this thing has like $1 million profit potential in it. So this is super exciting stuff as far as getting into real estate goes, because you're watching this, you're probably interested in real estate and maybe you're curious. I love to show Narcos and I always wondered what the heck happened to all of Pablo Escobar's houses, right? And he had many houses in America, and guys like us or gals like you could have went and bought them. And today that still happens. So what I want to do in this video is show you my favorite spot for finding houses that could be narco seized. We've seen things on here before, like giant farms with like facilities where they were, growing, call it herbs. And today we're going to go and we're going to dive into that because it's more important than ever to be getting into real estate. With inflation, everything that's happening, all of the tensions, real estate is one of the best ways to protect, preserve, and grow wealth. Now, the problem that most people face is they don't know where and how to get into real estate and find some cheap properties. So that's what this channel is here to help you do, help you get into some cheap channels. There's a lot of cheap channels out there. It's Dustin Hahn here, and I'm the creator of TaxLienSchool.com. And we are the #1 YouTube channel when it comes to government seized property and tax lien and deed investing. So I think we have about 3,500 videos on this channel, and our site, Tax Lien School, is the most comprehensive free resource for helping investors buy dirt cheap government seized property, sometimes for as little as $50. And if you guys watch, I'll show you how this disgusting onion a little later is one of the big secrets to my success. I just saw that there, thought I'd bring it up before I forgot. So you might be interested in this video because bottom line, it can help you make some money in real estate. So as we get into this, there's a few ways that the government will seize a property. It can be for delinquent taxes, or maybe there's an IRS issue, or maybe they're dealing drugs, right? And the government comes in, kicks down the doors, and they want that money to create revenue. So what I want to do is show you where I like to go to kind of get a pulse on seized property as far as taking a look. So what we're going to do is I'm going to share my screen here in a moment, and you guys can follow along with me on this journey here together, and we shall dive in. So we're going to come over here right now. I'm going to share my screen. Feel free to follow along at home, but this is a great spot to get started. Okay, here we are. Sharing my screen, the infinite loop here of forever into the screen. I'll be checking back and forth. If you ever can't hear me, just leave a comment. So check it out. This is the real property auctions. This is the treasury.gov.auctions. And this is where seized properties go. If they're a drug dealer's house or if they didn't pay the IRS, the government will auction properties off here. And what I like about auction properties is you can get some smoking deals. Okay, so let me show you kind of what's coming up, and one of these that catches my eye. So this is where drug dealers' houses will end up. And if you come here and you click on the upcoming auctions, let's see what's going on. There are some super deals on here right now. And we're going to come and we're going to look over here in a second. And this is the one that's catching my eye. This beautiful spread here. This may or may not have been a narco house, but we will find out here shortly. Now, as I get into this, a couple things to keep in mind is the following. We're going to look at some of these properties and they're going to have opening bids. Some of them could be $50,000, $100,000. Some of them could be $1 million. All right. The thing to keep in mind is there's a starting point in government seized properties, no matter where you are. So if you have $50, there literally are properties in government inventory right now that you can go and you can buy. Now, are they worth $1 million? Probably not, but some of them can be worth thousands of dollars. For example, one of our subscribers, they went and they bought a property. It was 200 bucks. And by the time they got it, they paid some city liens. They were into it for 1,000. They sold it for 15. It was just a simple piece of land. And there are plenty of those to get started. So as we're looking at some of these seized property on the US Treasury site, they are going to have higher opening bids. But the other thing is you can put down deposits and really leverage your money when it comes to getting into some of these properties. So I don't want you to be discouraged. If you're looking at this and maybe you don't have $50,000 or $100,000, the channel here has an outlet for you to basically work your way up. And once again, disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer, and we're not giving financial advice. We have to say that. I don't pretend to be a doctor on the internet, but what I can tell you is, I used to work on an oil rig. This stuff generally isn't rocket appliances, and it can be pretty simple and straightforward. So you'll come over here back to the site, and we're going to take a look at what's going on. So you'll see all sorts of properties on these sites, and you're going to want to go and investigate. In a second here, I'll show you how I use ChatGPT to help me analyze some of these deals as well. But you'll see properties coming up. And if you're interested in farmland or if you're interested in houses, there are plenty of options to kind of see what's going on. So for example, what I like to do is, every week come on here and see what's going on. We've bought dozens and dozens of properties, sometimes every month at these auctions. And you can too. You just have to take some action. It's never going to be easy. It's never going to be the right time to take action. But if you do follow along with the steps on this channel and what we show you, we can help get you there. So let's check this thing out here. If I click on this property, I want to see what's going on. Cathedral Oaks, and very simple. We can see here the starting bid is 170 grand. So we want to see what this thing's worth. And once again, this is just super simple to come over here, copy and paste the address into Zillow and just see what's going on. Okay, so we can come over here, Cathedral Oaks, and this thing is worth 756,000 bucks, according to Zillow, which isn't too bad, right? 756,000 bucks. For anybody joining, welcome. We're looking for some narco houses that are flippable here today. So we're looking at this house here, Cathedral Oaks. Obviously, that is a great spread. And these type of deals exist. And here's what I can tell you. The classic cliche is you're going to miss every one that you don't swing at. For example, we had a subscriber watch on the channel. He's like, hey, I thought all this stuff was like BS and hype. And what ended up happening was they found a property. And from there, in Florida, it went for 75 grand at the auction. It was worth 570. And that is actually in a comment in one of these videos. I checked the address. It is real and it happened. And we're looking at actual properties that are coming up. So this one is worth 756. And what I like about this stuff is like, this isn't hypothetical. These are deals that are coming up. Now, some of them might get bid up. That depends, but we can check this thing out here. It's 3,100 square feet, 2-level home with 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, with a breakfast room. I like the idea of a breakfast room. Sounds pretty good. Favorite meal of the day. Now, what these guys are looking for here is a $25,000 check as a cashier's. So 4 properties that are coming up. Now, is this a narco house? Hard to say. Generally, the narcos live in pretty extravagant houses, which we're going to look at here in a moment. But some basic things to keep in mind as you are getting into this is you always want to do an inspection. And the cool thing with the site that we're on right now is it's generally the auction dates are spaced apart. So when we go to a tax deed sale, what ends up happening is you have to look at a whole bunch of property, right? And with that, you have to do your title research to make sure that the liens are going to be wiped out, which is a great part about tax lien and deed investing, is the mortgage gets wiped out. Very, very fun. From there, though, you want to inspect the property, right? You want to make sure that the thing's not falling apart. We've been in properties before where it's looked like a scene from the X-Files, alien life living in the basement, black mold all over. Absolutely disgusting, but we were able to flip it and still make money. So you want to line up an inspection and inspect the property independently before you go and bid on these. So one of the things I always say, it's not a matter of if you get deals, but a matter of when. You just have to keep showing up. And one of the things that prevents people from basically taking action is the fact that maybe they go to one auction, they do some research and they don't get anything. And things get bid up to market value. And they're like, oh, this doesn't work. You can't judge this industry based off of one auction. It's a law of averages. And if you keep showing up, you absolutely can get deals. So back to some of these properties here. Let's go over. For anybody tuning in, we always give away the ABCs of tax lien and deed investing mini course. It's in the description below. It is totally free. It's just my gift to anybody who tunes in. In the description, it'll show you step by step as far as, more in-depth research. That's in the description below if you want it later. If not, all good. I just like to provide that here for the people who are tuning in. So as we go back, let me see my camera. Is it working? Ooh, matrix kicking in. So as we come back, let's look at this monster house, the really nice one. Okay. So we're going to come over here and we're going to come back and we can keep looking. I want to look at this one. And things like this often pique my interest, which this may or may not be a narco house. But what I can tell you is this is where the narco houses end up. And we've seen it before. Sometimes you'll see some of these houses and the pictures of the property are still, there's like all the bling in the closets. It's like they took the pictures right after they seized the house. So we're going to come over here. This is an estate property with 8 bedrooms. Now, the bid on this thing is $1 million, right? So for the average person, that could be outside of your price range. But what we like to do is provide you with a way to build your way up into this. So I'm just going to check the market value on this thing right now. And we want to see what is going on. So check this thing out. 3.1 million bucks. There's like, oh, friggin', what does it look like here? Some fountain system. You probably ride your jet ski in there. It looks absolutely stunning and beautiful as far as this goes. 9,300 square feet. You got a tennis court. This is an amazing house. So why did this property get seized? Maybe they were a street pharmacist, or maybe, maybe it was one of Pablo Escobar's cousins. It's hard to say, but man, this thing is nice. So as you look at this, wow, look at that thing. Hey, tons of pictures. What a beautiful house. Now you could, the bid on this is $1 million, and think about it. $1 million in like San Francisco or New York basically gets you a 400 square foot hole in the wall, where if you get in this game, you could have an amazing opportunity. Sometimes these properties sell for opening bid. So with a property like this, you might be thinking to yourself, oh, okay, I don't have $1 million, but you need a plan to get there, right? And that's what real estate is about, is coming up with that plan to get from where you are now to being able to take swings at these types of properties. And what I love about tax lien and deed investing is the fact that if you're willing to put in a little bit of elbow grease, there is a starting point for everybody. And I always think about this game as like a train going down the tracks with multiple stops. So, let's say there's 15 stops on the track. Every single stop is a financial starting point for people, right? Starting point A could be the $50 train station. You pull into that train station. That's for people who get started with just like $50. And at that point, you're going to be looking at government seized properties, over-the-counter properties that didn't sell at the auction. Buy it for 50, a couple hundred, $500, flip it, make a few thousand, and just keep working your way up. And at the end of the day, 90% of businesses fail. That's just a common stat. And a lot of people go into something because it's a passion business, or, they really love kittens, and it makes great sense to start the, kitten coffee shop daycare, although some people do make that work. You're probably way better off just to become a millionaire in real estate, like 90% of millionaires have done. And then you can use your excess proceeds to start that passion project, because depending on how old you are, we have to do the math of how much time is left in the game to be able to really make things happen, right? So why not go into real estate where it is black and white and you can really make things go? So what I like to do on these properties is I'm going to take the address of this one that we just looked at, the super mansion, and we're going to use a little bit of AI, a little chat GPT to analyze this property. Now, everybody can use chat GPT. So this is we've created experts on tax liens and deeds, but you can definitely make your own or just use a basic ChatGPT account for similar results. But I made one just kind of customized for the things that I like to do. Obviously, tax liens and deeds, estimating rents and things like that. So I have just a tax deed Q&A expert. So I'm going to take, actually what I'm going to do, so I'm going to come over here and I'm literally just going to select everything. Control A, rather than the whole address. I'm going to take this and I'm going to come over here right now and I'm going to come into the AI over here. Let me make sure I'm sharing my screen here. There we go. We're sharing the screen. And whoever's here, ask some questions. Let's get the comments going. Where is everybody tuning in from? I want to know. Let's get some action in the chat here. Let me know where you're tuning in from. If you have any questions, we can get that going as well. And if you're watching this a bit later, leave a comment. That helps us create new content as well for getting into this. And from there, if you do want one-on-one hand-holding and want to get a deal, say in the next 30 days, there's a link below. You can book a free call. We can take you by the hand and show you how to do this stuff super quickly. All that's below along with the book, but that's totally up to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these details. I literally just went Control All for this. Okay. So I selected all of it. I copied it. I have ChatGPT open. This is a custom GPT, but a free account. You can do the same thing. And I'm going to say, as an investor, get me all the details on this, like value and all important details as a real estate investor. Once again, my spelling is terrible. So here we go. So watch this. This is super fun. So we're going to go, and now we want to get all of the details using AI. And the fun thing about using AI is the fact that it can save you tons of time. What used to take months or days or weeks can be done with the press of a button. So let's come over here. Let's take a look. All right. So this thing is saying valuation on Zillow, 2.7 million, but we saw earlier it was 3 million. Let's see. So from here, it's saying the layout, 4-bedroom, 1 bath. Let me take a double check here as far as this address. Oh, 48 Harmony. Did I put the right one in? Let me double check over here. Guys, welcome. Tuning in from DC. Good to see you. We're just going to evaluate this property here and see what is going on. Here we go. Come back over here to my ChatGPT and we can come down and I have all of this stuff in here. I put this one in here as well. So if we come over here to this property, where are we here? Harmony. Okay, here's the one we're looking for. So it has the details as far as what we want to know. The auction date on this property is going to be June. No, this is a different one that sold June 27th. The Harmony property is coming up July 25th. All right. It's 8-bedroom, 8-bath. Great. 4-car attached garage. Let's see. 58 acres with a pool. Very interesting. The tax burden. This property, tax 2025, it is $42,000 across 3 parcels. Wow. So that is some pretty pricey tax. So condition. Irrigation sold as is. So the starting price is going to be an opening bid of $1 million. Okay. Very important to see there. There are some comps for 1.8 in the area. And this really tells us kind of what's going on with the property. So you can go put this information into ChatGPT and see really what's going on. So the other thing I'll do is I'll come over here and we want to come into the frequently asked questions about this. And once again, for anybody tuning in, welcome. We're looking at some government seized property that could be a narco properties. When you're watching late night TV and you wonder what happens to the narco properties, this is the site that they go on, and we are using some AI to dissect these properties to really see just some of the details. So for anybody who hasn't used AI yet, it's definitely time to get started with it. Like, just get yourself a free ChatGPT account and start using it. We've built a custom one that we use, but you can get a lot of the benefits from this or from using AI. Because if you don't, you're really going to be left behind as far as getting into real estate. So We're looking at this property here. We were on Zillow for this Harmony property. Zillow has this thing valued at 3.1 million. We also want to check a few things here, like Redfin has it at 3.1 as well. Estimate actually 3.1 to 3.9. The opening bid is $1 million. So wow, this thing is a beauty. So about this home, unique equestrian home, perfect marriage of serenity and style, no expense or detail was spared. So houses like this are going up on these sites, and it definitely could have been a narco house, as we have seen them on here before. This thing is absolutely stunning. So we want to learn the website. So just like anything, you guys are watching this, and when it comes time to get started in real estate with tax liens and deeds and things like that, you want to put time in to dedicate to this, right? You're watching this video. That's how you know I'm old school, right? My fiance always jokes when I make a dated comment, like watching this video. I think we can all, I think we can all probably relate that we used to go to the video store and things like that. So welcome everybody. Welcome John. And if you guys have some questions, you can put them in the box. And there's a question here. Yeah, what a nice niche. Absolutely. You could make your niche there. Do you pay for custom AI? So everybody can have access to a free chat GPT. From there, though, what we do is obviously you can level up to the next service, which is the paid one. I think it's like $20 a month. And you can use it very effectively to be getting questions answered. But what we did is we did build one for ourselves as far as for tax lien and deed investing and things like that. So like, for example, just a side tangent, what we did is I built one for Texas. So if I came into here and I just made it, so, all right, find me dirt cheap property up to 90% below market value. And I click the link and I use it to save time. So we got Harris County here. As far as finding good deals. Now, definitely some narco properties could end up at the tax deed auction as well. But my goal with the AI is like, all right, how do I save myself, a day or week or month of trial and error? So for example, I pressed here, find me those deals. And then we should be the link to the property listings. All right, we're over here. Now we're in Harris County and we can search by precincts or what's going on. Now, actually, the sale was yesterday. So that's why you're not seeing anything here for this one, but they will be coming up very soon because the tax deed sale was yesterday. So in the next day or two, this will populate. But you can come over here and you can just see population 2.1 million. So this is how I use AI, but I also use it to help me get clarity on things. Like, for example, and you could just type in here, if you're using a free chat GPT or whatever it is. I'm not sharing my screen, of course. That's why I come back here and check. Let's see. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Monica. Looks like some folks are tuning in. Lillian would like to attend an auction in person. That's cool. So great question there for anybody here. So if you're here right now and you want to join us at an auction, so basically, I know a lot of people watch this and they're like, all right, what's your angle? Just some guru on tax liens and deeds trying to sell a course and this and that. And, I'll just call a spade here as far as what my intention is with this YouTube channel. So tax liens and deeds changed my life years ago. 22 years ago, I was working on an oil rig, hating my job, absolutely miserable in life. And, I went to a real estate seminar. And it was $5,000 back in the day. And at the seminar, it was a tax lien and deed seminar. From there, I met a guy and he's like, hey, I'm going to be at a real estate auction in a couple days in Washington. Met him down there. I bought at my first auction 40 acres of land for $4,200 and sold it for $20,000. And it changed my life forever. So nowadays, what I do is we give away everything to help you guys. So we give away the book, the guide, the national directories, all of that is for free below in the description. You can get that for free. From there, rather than sell a bunch of like $30 books, what we do is we just work with people one-on-one. And yes, it is a business as far as working with you. So she's asking, how do I attend an auction? There's a link below. You guys can book a call. You can come join us in person at one of these auctions and we can help you bid. So it is a win-win because we have a recipe that helps you save time. And from there, it is a second business for us. And we do team up with a lot of people on these deals, and YouTube seems to like the videos. And our main goal, though, is to provide the most information to the tax lien and deed community. And we try to do that. I think we have like 3,500 videos. Our site, Tax Lien School. So for anybody who wants a free resource, let me bring this up here. So for anybody here who wants a totally free resource for getting into this, you can just come over here to Tax Lien School and check this out. We really pride ourselves on trying to create the best training that is for free that is out there. So I'm going to share my screen. You guys can pop over to Tax Lien School. Obviously, there's the thing for the free book. And we have a bunch of information. If you come over here and you click on the Knowledge Vault up here, what you're going to see is thousands of articles on tax lien and deed investing. We have information on every single state. So for example, California, so you want to go there, you can click on it. You can learn more about California. We have auction maps for auctions coming up. We have articles on everything. It is the most comprehensive training that you can get, and it's totally free. So anybody can go over to taxlienschool.com and get started there. So just kind of coming back to as far as, how do you attend an auction? Or if you want hand-holding help to get a deal in the next 30 days, there's a link below in the description. What's happened, Rob? Thanks for tuning in. And everybody, let me know where you are tuning in here from today. I would love to hear from you. We are exploring some when you're watching late night TV or YouTube documentaries and you're like, man, what the heck happens to those narco properties? Well, today we're looking at the site that auctions these off. So I'm going to come back here and we're just using a bit of AI to help us out. And from there, if you are interested in a custom AI, there you can just book a call below and we can build one of these for you. But you can also use the free version as well and really just do the same thing. It just comes down to some people like to follow a recipe. Some people like to go to a restaurant. Okay, so check this out. We're on the site. These are the questions that these are the most common questions to get started. And I would go through all of these questions, but let's do this. This is how AI can save time. I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to select all. I'm going to come back over to the Tax Lien Deed Expert. And I'm going to say, or I'm going to come back to the chat that we had going on the property here. I'm going to say, all right, so here are the rules. Here are the rules of the auction. Simplify them into simple bullet points. Boy, you really get self-conscious of your spelling when you have to spell on the air live on channel 6 here. Let me make sure I'm sharing my screen. Screen is being shared. Welcome everybody. Let's put some questions in the comments. We're live here right now. If you're watching the replay, you can go ahead and put them in the comments and we'll get there. If you guys like this, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up. Would love to hear from you. Welcome, Paul. Welcome. And Kimo, welcome everybody. Very awesome. So we're taking the rules. We're now going to simplify the rules. All right. So we are in our GPT and I'm just going to remember what I said. I selected all of the rules. So I said, simplify these into simple bullet points. All right. Here we go. Simplified. Very cool. The auction for this one, it's saying on site, online, no on-site bidding. You can register here at this website. Okay, let's check that out. We're going to come over here. This is where you can register. And anytime you're doing like, oh, check it out. Here we go. So these are the auctions coming up. Good stuff. Where is our mansion? But there are tons of deals on here coming up and just depends on the price. So you're going to come here and register for this. Here is our mansion right here on Harmony. We can click the view option. But what I'm more interested in is the details of this. Cashier's check required or wire transfer. Deposit is due by the 24th. Okay. No financing provided. Read the terms of each property. Property inspection. Obviously encouraged to inspect the property. No access outside of scheduled times. During the auction, you will bid online through the portal. The bid is legally binding. No broker needed. After the auction, winner's bid becomes a non-refundable deposit, goes towards the purchase price. Backup bidders will be backup bidder deposit will be held if you can't come through. Closing must occur within 45 days. Okay. So this is also a way to leverage, as far as if you put down a deposit, you could bring in an investor. Let's see, buyer pays the closing costs. Yeah, failure to close equals a forfeit of the deposit. Clear title usually provided via government deed. So you see where it says usually provided? That's where you're going to get a title search on this property. And it's saying special warranty or quitclaim deed. So we need to get clarification on that. All right. So when it says the type of deed, it's important to know, right? Because if it is a quitclaim deed, you will have to clear the title. But with a property like this, where it's $1 million, we're going to spend a few $1,000s to do some research on where to basically place our bids, because that's quite a bit of money. The difference between this and, say, doing a tax deed sale is the tax deed sales, we're looking at, 20, 50, 100 properties that are coming up. And we need to be able to be quick on these. And often at the tax deed sale, we're dealing with much lower barriers of entry. So for example, with this one, you're going to do a title search. It could cost you $250 or $500, depending on how comprehensive it's going to be. And then from there, we're going to get it inspected. A good inspection could be $1,000. So at the end of the day, if we don't end up winning the bid, that's still tax deductible. And you can, write that off. Now, once again, I'm not a tax advisor, but that's what I would do for myself. So welcome everybody. Welcome Paul. Hello from Texas. You are in Oregon. Nice. Good spot. I remember the Oregon Trail. Does anybody here remember the Oregon Trail? You get the wagon all loaded up, cross the river, you lose everything. Yeah. Let's see. So if you guys have some questions, put them in the comments. Would love to get to your questions. Also travel to Southern California with frequency. So when it comes to getting started in this business, what I love about the power of the internet is the fact that it can be virtual, right? You can, well, this one is obviously on site, but these days, a lot of these auctions are happening online. And that's awesome because you can do the research remotely. You can use your phone. We use an app like TaskRabbit or We Go Look. And you can go and get documented pictures of the property. You can also be using the preliminary research of Google Earth to be looking at these as well, or Streets and Trips, which is great, to get into the game. Now, let's see. Awesome. Good stuff. Welcome, Ron. NorCal. Used to live in Santa Barbara. Beautiful, beautiful area. But I'm curious of everybody here, what's piquing your interest as far as getting into this? And the thing that I see a lot of is really just a lot of paralysis by analysis these days, where you have all of this information at your fingertips on the internet, but have yet to do a deal. And a lot of that comes down to is the internet is 1,000,000 miles wide and it's not very deep, because you start going down one rabbit hole. Next thing you know, years pass by. You've just watched a bunch of YouTube and maybe you're somewhat of an expert, but you've never done a deal. So the fastest way for you guys to get into this is to take action and go to an auction without expectation. Practice. This is the same as anything you've done in your life. The equivalent of people getting into tax liens and deeds is basically like somebody who's never played basketball deciding they want to play basketball and then go and they're mad because they can't play in the NBA. With this stuff, go to an auction, attend one online, or just follow the auction and start to develop your expertise when it comes to this business. It's super simple. Like I said, it's not rocket science. You just need to take action. And that's the one thing I want to encourage everybody who's watching this to do. So whether it's my content or another channel, just pick something and go with it. because that's what it takes, is to stick with it, right? When you look at everything you've done in your life, your career, learning how to walk, playing any sport, you practice. Everybody here probably lives in a tax lien or tax deed county, and there's auctions happening. There's probably over-the-counter property sitting there right now. And, I always have this thing. I made a video the other day. I have this on my desk all the time, and it's under this. And what it is a sands through the hourglass. One day, we all have one of these above our head. One day, we're going to wake up, and this thing is going to be empty, which means it's our last day. Sadly, I keep this on my desk because I have one of these over my head. One day, it's going to come up, and I don't know if it's going to be today. I don't know if it's going to be in a week, a month, a year. I might live to 90. But we all have one of these, and we all know people who have maybe gotten sick or gotten into accidents, and it happens. What I can tell you is that time goes faster, way faster than you think. The older you get, the faster it goes. And with AI, this stuff is as easy as it's ever going to get. However, the people who are capitalizing and using AI are going to be in such a position of dominance when it comes to real estate investing that they're going to be able to scoop up all of the properties. So the worst thing that could happen is for you to be watching this type of video a year from now and you haven't taken action, because this thing is like the cookie is drifting further and further away from you every single day. And you need to pick something. I don't mean to sound preachy, but I guess that's why I have a YouTube channel. But the thing is, it's getting further and further away. The longer you wait to take action in real estate, the harder it's going to get. The best time for you to get started was 20 years ago, or the second best time is today. So that's really what my message is, and what I want to encourage everybody to do is to take action with real estate and cut the crap on everything else. If you're doing crypto and stocks and this and Amazon and drop shipping and all of that, it's just the chances of you succeeding in that compared to real estate are so low. The thing is you need to take action. And that's why I showed this onion a little bit earlier. So I have this disgusting onion on my desk, and there are two types of people in the world: people who like onions and people who are disgusted by them. I'm in the camp of being disgusted by onions, and I don't like them. And I'll just say it, if I was in a position of authority, I would ban them. I know I'm not going to make some friends. So what I do is I come up with things that I know I need to do, a list of things that I know I need to do, but I don't want to. For example, it could be as simple. I have a little gym right behind me here. And what I do is I say at the beginning of the week, I'm going to work out 4 times this week. I'm going to post a picture of myself in the gym by 2:30 p.m. If I don't do it, I'm going to take a bite of this onion. And I do the same thing with work. I say, all right, I'm going to make a video by this time. We're going to look at this many properties. We're going to write this many offers. We're going to go to this many auctions. The big thing is I do an accountability with a negative consequence. And for me, it is this disgusting onion. And if I fail, I actually have some pre-sliced onions in the freezer. And from there, what I do is I'll take a bite. And I've only had to do it once so far, and it was disgusting. I was puking. Well, I was about to puke. I tried to puke, but luckily I was on an empty stomach. So what I recommend for everybody here is don't just watch this empty. There's a saying. It's like watching content without execution is like reading a menu without, or it's like trying to feel full by just reading the menu. And sadly, that's what most of YouTube is a bunch of folks just reading the menu, expecting to feel full. Meanwhile, they're starving. And that can be the equivalent of like starving financially. So come up with something, go to your spouse or your friend and say, hey, I'm going to go to attend one auction in the next 2 weeks, or I have to take a bite of an onion, or whatever it is, horseradish, whatever disgusting food you like, you have to take a bite of it. Or maybe you have to, mow your friend's grass in your underwear, something that you don't exactly look forward to doing. And at the end of the day, we are motivated by, unfortunately, negative consequence, right? So that's why if you can build that in and hack the system, you can have a huge advantage, right? Like if I were to say to you, you have to run across this football field in the fastest time you can and you win $100, or say run across this football field in under, I don't know, 20 seconds, or I'm going to shoot your dog, right? You're going to run a lot quicker. So build that into as far as the routines that you're doing. We showed earlier the site for anybody tuning in. Appreciate everybody tuning in here. I'm going to take some questions as well. If you guys have any, post them in the comments. Let's see. Recently sold a home here, looking to buy in different states with fewer taxes and prep for retirement. Excellent. That is a wise plan. And, you know, sadly, these days, the average American is going to, like 80% of Americans don't have anything saved for retirement. So getting ahead of it is super important. For example, like if you want to live on like $100,000 a year in your retirement, if you retired at age 65, you're going to need, what the heck is it? Hold on. I think it's like 3.5 million saved up just to live on in retirement. From there, you know, the average couple retiring at the age of 65 is going to experience at least $260,000 just in medical expenses alone when they retire. So you guys need to be proactive, because if you're not, you're going to find yourself in that position where retirement comes and you're not ready. And the cost of care is friggin' nuts through the roof. And the last thing you want is to burden your kids with that. As far as, you know, having them take care of you, it's going to be hard enough for them. And if anything, that's a big reason why to get into real estate, is to teach your kids this skill set. I reflect on that quite a bit, as far as, you know, coming from a blue collar family where, you know, you grow up, you work hard, and that's great. Working hard is great. And it used to be that you could work hard, save up, and build towards a retirement. But to be fair, that's kind of a bill of goods these days, because no matter how much more you work, man, the cost of real estate and all of that for the average person is out of touch. So that's why we use these creative ways in real estate to get into it. And that's why I encourage everybody here to take some action, because time is going quick, right? We got this thing here and it's going to run out, and we use real estate as a freedom tool. So we'll do some questions here. But once again, guys, if you like this stuff, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, you know, share the video with some friends. I'm going to take some questions. You have me here right now. But if you're watching the replay, what's happening from Vegas? Lindsay, hello. Let me know what your guys' goals are in real estate. Let me know in the comments. Would love to hear that. Let's see. How much should I have to start with in this business? All right. That's a great question. So when it comes to getting started, well, how much should you have? The cool thing about tax liens and deeds is the fact that you could have $50 or 500, 50,000 or 500,000. There is a starting point for everybody. And think of it this way. The less money you have, the more elbow grease you'll have to put in. So you'll have to go through more county records. You'll have to do more research. And that's actually like where AI can save you guys a lot of time, as far as finding the properties, especially like over the counter property. All right, cool. Say you got 10 grand. 10 grand is a great starting point. 10 grand can really get you in the game, because if you play your cards right, attend auctions and look for over-the-counter properties available, you can put that money to work, start getting some cheap properties and flip them. Like I was mentioning earlier, we had one of our subscribers found a property for just $200. They bought it. There was, I think, some city liens, and then they sold it for $15,000. So those types of deals are only possible through tax liens and deeds. But we can use AI to speed it up. I'm going to come back over here to ChatGPT. And I have what I call the over-the-counter expert. Where the heck did it go? I have a few of these. Over-the-counter tax deed expert. If I come into here and I say, just find me some dirt cheap over-the-counter deals. All right. So like I built this for myself because we're always going to auctions. And Arkansas is a great spot. Let's see, Arkansas state land. So we've shown this one before. Here are auction listings coming up. So check it out. Here's a whole bunch of properties with starting bids, $100, $1,500, current bids, $2,000. There's tons of properties in here. Starting bid, $10,000. We can sort this out. Here we go. $157, current bid, $275. Let's see. Tons of properties here. We can view this on the map. James and Peggy, They haven't paid their taxes. The opening bid on this property, 157 bucks. Okay. We're going to click on the auction map. We are going to acknowledge this and see what's going on here. Okay. This is a good lesson in a property that you won't want. And the thing here is that it seems to be landlocked, far away in a forest. All right. And when you talk to people who trash tax liens and deeds, they'll say, oh, there's a reason it didn't sell at the auction. And they're right. Sometimes there's a very good reason things didn't sell at the auction. However, if you put in some elbow grease into this stuff, you can find some deals. Cheap Home Finders Inc. in Mississippi. Let's see what's happening there. What did they do? We're going to come in here. We're going to take a look. Okay, here's something perhaps. We're going to take a look. What is the address? This property is in Mississippi. This is a parcel, it looks like, but let's check it out. This is a parcel. Is it a house? We can zoom in, see what's going on this property. Looks like there is a structure here. Oh yeah, there's a boat trailer. So this is a vacant lot. Starting bid on this one is 6,000 bucks, but I'll share with you an example. This type of property, if you start digging, you'll start to find properties like this for a couple $100, and you can sell them for several thousand. You can sell them to this guy, to the neighbor. He can increase the value of his home. You can sell it to this guy. He could increase the value of his home as well. But the thing is you just have to be willing to put in a little bit of elbow grease at the end of the day. That's really what it comes down to. These deals are everywhere. Actually, if I sort this by starting bid, let's see what kind of action we're into. Here we go. $100 opening bid. You know, everybody can make $100. Adam and Wendy, delinquent here. For the algorithm, I'm not sharing any information that is not public record. You know, there's tons of these sites out here to get started. Let's see here. Welcome, folks. Let me know where you're tuning in from. We've got a good crowd in the house here with us today. Very, very much appreciate everybody tuning in. And we do have people asking about the book. So below the video is the mini course, the ABCs of Tax Lien and Deed Investing, if you guys want to get started. And this is like everything that we give away is stuff that we use at the auctions. So, you know, all of the evaluation forms, all of the questions for title, the things to write down. So when we go to an auction to this day, we still use all of this to see, you know, what's my maximum bid? What's the goal for the property? What's the exterior, the interior, the assessed value, right? The physical, this is all just basic stuff. It's in the description below. Or if you already have that stuff or you want to come join us at an auction where we can take you by the hand, we can help you get a deal. Often people that we work with, we can help them get a deal within the next 30 days, give them a custom game plan. You can book a call. It's totally free. You can book a free call. We can see if it's a fit to work together one-on-one. And if it's not the end of the world. Our goal is still to provide you with as much free information as possible. So my philosophy in this is I want to be the leader of the tax lien and deed industry. And, you know, there's lots of people. What's really funny is you go to like everybody's website and everybody's like, we're the #1 world authority. And what we realized is they don't have 3,500 videos. They don't have a website with thousands of articles. And our goal is to be the world authority in that. And I do have an open challenge out there that if you find any other YouTube channel or website that has more information than we have, case of beer. Buy a case of beer or a bottle of whiskey or whatever your vice of choice is. But nobody's come forward yet. So we're very, very proud of that fact. We have a whole team of researchers putting this stuff together all the time. And, you know, my agenda, my calling myself out here is, yeah, we do help people. We have the auction trips. There is a price to join us. It's tax deductible for the most part. And we can save you trial and error if you want to join us. So those links are below in the comments, and you can check it out if you like. Let's see, where should you start in New York? Tried researching, but it seems confusing. So I went to Troy, New York back in the day, bought a property, and a lot of the smaller areas will be good spot. Like if you're in like Manhattan or, you know, like Brooklyn, those are obviously going to be terrible areas. You want to go to some of the smaller areas to obviously get this stuff going, which is the name of the game. and you'll get a lot of good deals. So for anybody, a good tip is to avoid, the super competitive areas, and you can get better deals. Now, it's not to say there aren't deals in these competitive areas, but the less competitive, better. Ruth is saying, can Canadians do this? Absolutely, Canadians can do this. And I recommend Canadians do this as well. Now, for 99% of people here that are American, you won't get the benefit of a Canadian. For a Canadian, you get the exchange of the dollar, which is for every $100 you make off these, it turns into like $137 Canadian. So there's that can help you out as well. Welcome, everybody. Good questions coming in. We'll answer some questions and continue the show. If you're liking this stuff, do me a favor, thumbs up, subscribe. That would be very, very cool. Let's see. I know there are pros out there bidding from their couch. Yeah, for sure. Right. There's going to be pros out there bidding from their couch. And the nice thing about liens and deeds is there are 1,500 tax deed states. There are 1,500. Oh, there's 3,300 total. So 1,600 tax lien states. So you can find and carve out your own area in this and have an advantage. It just comes down to the elbow grease, and we give you guys the tools to do it. Like, that's why the book is here. That's why the deed directory is here. You can literally just give them a call. For example, maybe you're in Idaho and you want to call up Adams County. The phone number is right here. Give them a call. 208-253-4263. Give them a call. Say, hey, when's the tax deed sale? They'll say it's coming up. And then the next question will be like, what happened to the properties that didn't sell? They'll say, those go into our county inventory. You say, how do you get the list? And they can say, well, it's on our website, or they can ship it to you or mail it to you. And it's that simple to get started. But the important thing is to start. It's super important to start, because every day you put this off, the further it's getting away. Now, I recommend real estate. I recommend tax liens and deeds. It might not be a fit for everybody, but if you take one thing away from this video, it is you need to start in real estate. If you're watching this, odds are you want to make some money. Odds are you haven't done a deal. And with that being said, whether it's my channel or somebody's channel, just pick something and stick with it. That is the most important thing. The super fun thing with tax deeds is it could happen for you at your very first auction. Some of you guys, it might take 5. Some might take 10 auctions, but that's okay. You're going to get the experience needed to do it. Just know that there are deals out there. And I always I come up with some arbitrary number, but for every 1,000 people or 500 people watching this, they're going to scoop up a deal that you could have had. You just need to take that action, which is key. Let's see here. We have a question. When will we be coming to Vegas for a seminar? I know Vegas is pricey. So we don't actually have a Vegas seminar in the books, but we do go to Houston every single month. So we're going down to Houston every month, but we're also attending live auctions virtually every month as well. So you can do it from your couch. You can be that guy on the couch or at your desk, because we do that. There's lots of good auctions coming up in Philly. And if you guys want to join an auction online with us, we also offer that opportunity to where every month we attend an auction online. We get together in a small group. You tell us what you're interested in. Like, for example, you said you had a 10K budget. What we would do is we'd pull the list of properties that meet that 10K budget. We'd help you do the research and teach you by doing, because some people, that's how they like to learn, is by doing. So if you're interested in attending an online auction from home, you can just book a free call and we can see if it's a fit to join us. Once again, if not a big deal. This channel has the most information, hands down, when it comes to tax lien and deed investing. And we're going to continue to be expanding and bringing on more team to help everybody do it. And once again, guys, use the Tax Lien School resource. Appreciate the comment. This thing is here. We have put together the Knowledge Vault and truly believe that this is the most comprehensive tax lien and deed free resource that is out there. We have the interactive map that'll teach you everything. Actually, it's free. You can go sign up. I'm going to just come back over here. I'll log into my own site here and just show you guys some cool stuff. Here we go. log in. It's free for everybody to log in, or you just go and basically, if you get the ABCs or sign up, you can just get it for free. So I'm going to show you this resource. And once again, I don't even know if we don't even sell anything on the website. It's just all free information. So check this out. We'll come over here, and all you got to do, once again, come over to the Tax Lien School, and there's the book. Who's that guy? We do have details on all of our different things here. But the important thing is if you come to the Knowledge Vault over here, this is really where the information is. You can create a free account and join the communities. So for example, let's say you want to do, let's see, who did we have? We had New York earlier. So you could click on New York, click here to learn more, and you're going to get the Knowledge Vault of New York. See, check it out. We have New York, it's tax deed state, sometimes a 10%, what do you call it? Upset bid, typically 20% deposit. And we do have a video on New York. Who's that guy? What's happening there? So we do have all the different states. And if you come over here, we have, our goal here is to provide articles on all 3,300 counties. I think we're pretty close to being done, but we have North Carolina. We have a bunch of them here on the left-hand side. So for example, you can collapse these and scroll down and see. So we got North Dakota, Pennsylvania, upcoming auctions. You can click on that and see what type of auctions are coming up over here. So for example, we have Hillsborough, Florida. If you click, we provide the auction details as well. So we have the auction coming up, well, 2024, so that one is passed. But we, on the interactive map, if you come over here, and once again, it's free, we do have an auction map as well. Everybody gets 1 week for free of the auction map, and you can see what's going on. You can click here. Here's one coming up in Florida. You can click on it. We will have the auction details. So July 2nd, actually that one was today. Terms of sale. All of this stuff is for free. If you want to do tax liens, you can click over here and just find out more about tax liens. So this is an in-depth education when it comes to tax liens and deeds. And I recommend everybody just go over there and check it out. I don't even think there's anything you can buy on that site. Or maybe the auction map long-term. Anybody who goes over there gets a week of the auction map. And then if you want to upgrade, I think it's like 27 bucks. And the reason that is because we have a whole team that is basically putting all that information together. And we do spend a lot of money. Like, you know, some people will be like, oh, you know, this rich YouTube guru. And we take all the money from the channel and we put it into content. Like I have a full-time team. I think there's probably, man, let's see. I don't know, at least 7 or 8 people involved in just putting the content together here for you guys. And once again, what's my agenda? You know, everybody's like, this guy just wants to sell stuff. And at the end of the day, it is a business. Everybody wants to make money, right? My goal is service over sales. So we'll go live. I'll give you guys everything as far as what we have to get started, you know, like this stuff here, the books, the website, more videos. But if you want to come join us at an auction, it's like anything. If you go to university, there is a price to it. Now it's way cheaper than university. And from there, you can, in my opinion, make way more money. So it is a business for us that also grows my network. If I want to do deals, the YouTube channel, people can come in, contact me, and I've teamed up on many deals through people who watch this, and it's just a great resource. So, you know, I just like to be transparent. You know, my goal and core value is service over sales, but we do have things as well. So if you want to come on those trips, there's a link to book a call below and we can see if it's a fit. If not, not a big deal. Oh, Lindsay in North Carolina. So I think we were just on North Carolina here in the vault. Let me see. Let me come back over here. If I come back, so you guys can come here and learn about your states as far as what's going on and find out when the auctions are, right? So if we come into tax deeds, one of the first things you should be doing is figuring out when is the auction coming up, what dates are coming up for these. So let's come over here. You know what? Let's just go to the auction map and just click on it. So you're in North Carolina. We're going to click over here. Click more to learn about North Carolina. Everybody should be doing this for their states. So here we go. North Carolina. Would you look at that? We have all of the counties here for you ready to go. Okay. So that's your homework assignment. That's everybody's homework assignment as well, is to go and see what's going on in your state. So we have here all of North Carolina. If we click on this county, here we go. Oh, look, even a video. Who's that guy? So we're doing a good job as far as putting out information on each county. But we have the details, tax deed sale, bid procedure. Let's see here. We have the county website. So you can come over here. We have the county tax department. You can click on this and boom, we're over here. We're seeing what's going on. As far as the tax department goes, you could be calling them up. Man, I am super, not to toot my own horn, but our team is doing such a good job with this stuff. We got a picture of the courthouse here. We have the tips. We have fun facts about North Carolina. Founded in 1849. I didn't know that actually. Or at least this county. Sorry, this, I don't know how you say that. But we have all sorts of complete comprehensive. We have all the links. Look at this. To the foreclosure site, Q&A, and we have this for every single county. So let's say we want to go to Brunswick County, and you guys, this can be your homework for learning this. We have another video there, obviously. But we have all the details on the state as far as the foreclosure goes, the questions, the laws, all of that. 5% deposit, upset bid after 10 days. Obviously, do your homework. But yeah, that's a great homework assignment for everybody. You know, when I was getting into this stuff, I was watching how to do this on VHS tapes. And it was scary. You know, I was in my parents' basement trying to figure this out, watching VHS tapes on tax liens and deeds. I didn't have anybody to talk to. It was a very, very lonely place. And at the end of the day, we now have a great community to be able to help you get started, help you take action with this, and appreciate all the comments coming in. Ruth is saying, how do you start? We just walked through it, right? Obviously, the simplest way to start is you can get the book in the description. It'll walk you through it step by step. And we have all of the directories on there as well that you can download. And then from there, if you guys want to join us at an auction, we actually just did the auction yesterday in Texas. We're going down there every single month. There's a link below to book a call. Okay. So there's a link below to book a call, and we can talk about helping you come to an auction in the next couple of weeks. We can take you by the hand, or we can help you do one of these auctions from home, which is also coming up. As far as, you know, in the next week or two, we can help you do a remote auction. So that's there as well. Let's see. John saying he can't find Puerto Rico. And that's great, guys. Anybody who's making a comment saying that you're not able to find a county, I appreciate the comment coming up. And that's awesome because we can go through and add some. So there's 3,300 counties. Like I mentioned, our goal is to have most of them done here coming up. So we will have the team dive into that, as I know they are watching this. Let's see. Must be doing something wrong because Pinellas County has nothing active or pending for the next 90 days. Monica, thank you for the question. I appreciate that. Well, we can actually, let's see. Can I copy and paste? Let me see something here. Okay. Anyways, coming back here to your question. So Pinellas County doesn't have anything active or pending. So one of the things that I like to say is easy to find information equals a waste of time and money generally. So for example, you know, you can go to a realtor. If they bring you deals, generally they're not going to be good deals, right? Because with a realtor, what happens is they talk to all of their serious buyers before it gets to you, right? So you're literally just getting the scraps, because anytime a good deal comes across a realtor's plate, they're going to give it to the people they know who have cash. And that's how most people look at real estate is, oh, I'm friends with a realtor. Doesn't really work that well. So for you guys, with tax liens and deeds, remember this: the harder it is to find information, the more profitable it's going to be. Some of these counties are like going back in time. Like there's literally 30 years. You got to fax them information, and that's awesome. You know, if the county ever wants to charge you for a list of properties, that's amazing, because most people are too cheap to give the county 20 bucks for a list. And those can be absolute gold mines. So when you mentioned here you couldn't find that information, what I would do, you could go to the website, look up Pinellas County, or just go get the link below with the ABCs. And then we could come in here to Florida, get the phone number, and then just call them up tomorrow and say, hey, where's the list? Let me see here. Alphabetical order. Florida, I will pull it up here. Connecticut, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And it's so funny you have to say that out loud. Where are we here in Florida? Delaware. Here we go. Florida. So Florida is here on this page like 6 or 7. Pinellas County is here. Where did we go? Looking in the book. Here we go. Pinellas County. I got it right here for you in the book, which is free for everybody. The phone number is 727-464-777 or Pinellas County. I would give them a call. I'd say, hey, what's going on? Get the details, you know, keep records of this stuff in a calendar and build your own little vault of where this stuff is and see what's going on. Let's see. Question here. How long can you use the course on the website? Well, as long as the internet holds up, it will be there. Maybe there'll be what do you call it? One of those space pulses. What's the word? Not solar lightning that takes out all of the internet, and it won't be accessible. But if you have these, then you can print them out and you're good to go. So as far as where that is, once again, folks, all of the information is on taxlienschool.com over here. This is the main page. And then if you're interested in any events, all that sort of stuff. But the big thing here about me, that's me there. You can come over here to the Knowledge Vault, and all of that's in there. It's just free to sign up. Just put in your name and email, and then you'll get a username and password. And away you go. Everybody gets a week free of the auction calendar as well. And that's there. So go check it out. It is totally free. Appreciate everybody hopping on here today as we started off the journey looking at narco properties, and then we evolved into an excellent Q&A session here. Okay, we got a question from Lindsay. Going in person with you on a trip, how much would that be? So the way that we work it is we build a custom plan for everybody. So you can look at what we do as a bespoke solution. You know how when you go or you go into Walmart, there's off-the-shelf suits that often are too big. Maybe some of them fit you great. But what we do is we tailor it to you based on how many properties you want to look at, how many auctions you want to go to, how much one-on-one help you need. Maybe you just want to come to an auction and you don't want one-on-one help after that. So we really try to customize it to what you want. But what I can tell you is that we don't stuff people into a seminar room to just upsell you to the $40,000 thing. And what we do is affordable, and it makes sense, if it makes sense for both of us. So that link is below if you want to book a call and join us at an auction, or if you want some hand-holding help to find these deals and maybe get a deal within the next 30 days. That link is below as well. You can book a free call, or if not, just grab the book and get started. You know, my final thoughts here, once again, are the most important thing is to take action, right? If you don't take action, it's just a waste of time. As far as spending time watching these videos, like, it feels good to watch these videos, but unless you're moving the needle, whether it's with my stuff or with somebody else, the world will be a better place if you're able to make money in real estate. Because then you can do the things you want. You can self-actualize, you can travel, you can give back to your community, your church, or whatever that is. Now, obviously, I recommend Tax Liens and Deeds. I'm clearly biased towards my own stuff, but the world will be a better place if you're creating wealth in real estate, whether it's through my stuff or someone else. So my parting message is to take action and do something with it. I see you guys here. We got a great turnout here today. John, Deanna, Monica, Lillian, Rob, Rodrigo, Kim, DC, Paul, Lindsay, all of you guys. On the next live stream, Ruth, John, let's check back in. Let me know what you did. Create that accountability for taking action, whether it's a disgusting onion or something else. And you will be in the game. Let's see here. So yeah, Lillian, go ahead, book a call. It's in the description if you guys want some help, and take some action. Once again, thumbs up if you like this stuff. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Appreciate you tuning in. Have a good night. And if you're watching the replay, thanks again for watching.